The discussion topic is the areas within biosafety where further synergy can be achieved among the organizations. So it is very much related to the questions that have been asked to us now. So this session will be facilitated by OECD, and then we would like to have all of your participants' recommendations, comments, questions during this discussion session. And then earlier, as informed, we have an active participants. We would like to introduce some. The first, the question, the very nice question asked by Mr. Pablo Pindado. He accepted to be active participant, so he could be able to share his insights in the EU situation. Also, the Kathleen Jones from the United States. I am pretty sure this is a very late night or midnight in the United States, but then she was the chair of the OECD working group, and then she accepted to be an active participant, so I hope to hear from her too. And then Kazuyuki Suabe from Japan, and then who else do we have from Philippines? The Thelma has accepted to be the active participant. And anybody else we have? Argentina, Andres Franco. He has accepted to be active participant, so they will be able to speak, but at the same time all of you, the participants, can ask questions and write comments in the chat box, and then we will pick up your comments. So now that the floor is yours, Peter.
Okay, thanks very much. Just let me know you can hear me. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. So, as you mentioned, yes, and it's written on the screen, this area is for further synergy amongst the organizations. I think, Masami, I think Giovanni, we do plan as far as possible to have further synergies and to work more closely together. But first, you mentioned, Masami, that we are going to have we have a number of active participants, and bearing in mind the time constraints, maybe I could first turn to Andre Franco from Argentina. I think you had some things you wanted to say.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Hey. Good morning for all. It's a pleasure to participate in this webinar. I want to emphasize the importance of the three database, the type of information they provide. This information is very important to make decisions related to the release of or movement of GMOs. The importance of offered information of the three database is we use critical decisions. I have a question, important question of, is possible of connecting the information between different databases?
Okay, thank you, Andre. Giovanni, are you there? I think you answered this question, or at least a question very similar just a short while ago. Would you like to take this again?
Thank you, Peter. I think that later on, when there is a set of topics that are specifically about practical challenges in the use of database, we will address this at at that time. That means in a session that I will chair you and Masami. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Giovanni. Thank you for the question, Andre. We will come back to it. Pablo from the European Commission, would you like to make your point? I think you had one.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yes. First of all, thank you very much. I welcome this webinar since it shows how three different organizations can collaborate and work together. Even I noticed you have agreed somewhat in the format of the PowerPoint presentation. Congratulations. Well, my point I've already raised in writing. Also, I think we have to avoid submitting information twice, and this webinar is a good point, a starting point to collaborate between the three organizations, I think, because in fact there are different overlaps in the three databases, and the same information is three databases, and well, it's really difficult to keep three different databases up to date at the same time when some of their information is uploaded in different ways. I mean, as regards time, focal points, etc. So I think we all together we can collaborate and we can work in this direction. I think, Peter. And this is the point I wanted to raise. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much, Pablo. And this is a very good point, and it's noted. I think, once again, this is another thing we may come back to also with Giovanni's session. So it kind of impinges or it's linked to what he was saying earlier, but thanks very much. A good point there, Pablo. Kathleen, are you awake, alive? Would you like to say some words? Okay. Maybe that's not going to work for the moment. Maybe Thelma from the Philippines, I think you wanted to say something.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, thank you. Hello, yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, I would like to suggest that the three databases should be connected through links, considering that the databases contain similar information when it comes to the risk assessment record.
Okay, thanks very much, Alma. Once again, a good point. I'm wondering, Kazu from Japan, if you're online, maybe you had something you wanted to say also?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Secretariat of CBD and the FAO and the OECD for organizing this seminar on the database. As spoken previously, yeah, I think the multiple session is necessary, and in that sense, I don't have any specific solution, but I'd like to point out that simple format or way to make the information is necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Kazu. I think Kathleen Jones did want to say something. I'll give her the opportunity if you're online, Kathleen. Okay, I can see that Kathleen is typing. Masami, can you... Kathleen is having some technical difficulties, so we'll leave Kathleen for the moment. Does anybody else have any questions? Maybe Masami, you have some typewritten questions there?
Thank you, Peter. Yes, in fact, I have some ideas because I see all the comments from the participants, and then all their suggestions look very interesting, and then also something that could be very useful in the future. But then apart from the database itself, that I think there are quite a few things that our organizations can strengthen our collaborations and the synergies together. For example, we can do the activities like this, the webinar, more often, and then so that our community, that for example FAO's members are mostly from the agriculture and health focal, and then the UNEP-CBD's members, there could be mostly from the environment related parties, and then also the OECD. I mean, we can put all participants together and then create some sort of combined community so that we can actually do a very meaningful events together. So those are the things that I was thinking that could be quite useful in terms of the information exchange. And then in that way that we directly and then indirectly improve our databases together, and then avoiding the duplicates if there is, and then to see where is the overlaps and then where are the gaps, and then we can try to have a very good harmonized effect from all three organizations. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Masami. It's just that I think, well, one of the more important things that you're saying is that this would not be a one-off event today. We would try and build on this and probably have another follow-up event, possibly other follow-up activities later on. I'm guessing in next year we could do something. But in the meantime, I think, Masami, you're also talking about having a more permanent community of people who are involved in these types of discussions. Was that correct?
It's more like a continuing kind of community. That would be.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. Somebody here, Alexei Taraziev, I think that overlaps and gaps should be approached in the country level. There will be FAO regional workshops in December focusing on institutional communication and cooperation, and we should discuss these issues there. I think this is a question that talks about not just the organizations working more closely together, but I think it speaks also about cooperation at the more national or in maybe national situations between the different focal points, and possibly also regional activities. Do we think about that? What do we think about that?
Peter, are you asking me or?
Well, I was I think I was either asking you, probably
It's fine.
Masami or Giovanni.
Yes, yes, of course. I mean, I think that is a very good point, actually. I'm not sure about this particular meeting would be the one, but then in general, this idea about approaching and then considering overlaps and gaps from the country level. I mean, our governments would be the best approach than we as an organization leading this kind of issues. So I think this is a very good point. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And I see something also here from the European Commission, from the JRC. The JRC, Joint Research Centre in Ispra, since the amount of information is limited, maybe a mechanism of inputting data in one place and a mechanism of synchronization between databases could be foreseen. Having each organization an exact synchronized copy of the database, the organization can filter the information depending on its mandate. I think that that is a very good point that we can think about, and something that maybe Giovanni would be another point for your practical challenges in the use of the databases, which is coming up a little bit later. Somebody, I can't quite see who this is, somebody is saying webinars like this should be organized more often. Masami and Giovanni, I think something seems to be working. Pablo from the European Commission says, I agree. So, well, already we seem to have got some support for carrying on in the future so far. Anybody else have anything they would like to add? Okay. Prakash says that webinars are also part of the awareness, I guess, awareness raising related to GMOs. It's actually very useful to see all of this input coming in. As we said earlier, this will be made available, all your comments at a later stage. In any case, Masami, I now make it the end of this particular discussion topic area. So maybe I should turn it back to you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. That was a very interesting discussion. And then also learning to pick up the comments and questions from the chat box, and then somehow it is working. So I would really like to thank all the participants who are typing the questions and it's in the chat box, and then please keep doing so that we can pick all the good comments and questions from the chat box. And just to quickly review what we discussed, that we have discussed some way of strengthening integration of the possible data together among 3 organizations. But then someone pointed out that this decision making and direction setting should be started from the country level, from the governing bodies. And then I fully agree that because from the FAO side, that we really cannot change that direction if this direction is set by our member governments. So actually member governments in the driving seat, and then we sincerely hope that this kind of collaboration happens at the country level as well as this organization level. Then so many people support this convening this kind of webinars in the future as a series, and then that is something seriously that we consider in the future, and then that could be a very concrete action plan coming out of this present webinar. So thank you so much. And then